Nelson Mandela's life is one of the most compelling and inspiring stories of the 20th and 21st centuries. He rose from humble beginnings in a rural South African village to become a global icon of freedom, justice, and reconciliation. His journey, from childhood through decades of struggle and imprisonment to his presidency and beyond, is a testament to resilience, sacrifice, and the enduring power of hope. Early life, 1918 to 1940. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in the small village of Mvezo, located in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. His father, Gadla Henry Mafakanyiswa, was a chief of the Thembu tribe, a position that was hereditary within his family. However, Gadla was stripped of his chieftainship due to a dispute with colonial authorities. Despite this setback, Mandela's family maintained its respect within the Thembu royal circle. Mandela's mother, Nosekeni Fani, was deeply religious and raised him in the Methodist Church. His given name, Rolihlahla, means pulling the branch of a tree in Xhosa, often colloquially interpreted as troublemaker. When his father died in 1927, Mandela, then 9 years old, was entrusted to the care of Chief Jongintaba Dalindyebo, the acting regent of the Thembu people. This upbringing exposed Mandela to the principles of leadership and governance, which profoundly influenced his future. Mandela attended a local Methodist school and later enrolled in Healdtown, a Wesleyan college, where he began developing an interest in African history and politics. He subsequently attended the University of Fort Hare, South Africa's premier institution of higher education for black students, but he was expelled in 1940 for participating in a student protest. Journey to Johannesburg and Political Awakening, 1941-1944. After leaving Fort Hare, Mandela fled to Johannesburg to avoid an arranged marriage. In Johannesburg, he worked as a mine security guard and later as a law clerk while completing his Bachelor of Arts degree via correspondence from the University of South Africa, UNISA. During this time, Mandela became politically active, joining the African National Congress, ANC, in 1944. He co-founded the ANC Youth League, ANCYL, alongside leaders like Walter Sisulu and Oliver Tambo. The ANCYL aimed to invigorate the ANC with more radical and militant approaches to challenge apartheid. In the same year, Mandela married Evelyn Ntoko Mace, a nurse, and they had 4 children. However, the demands of his political activities and the stresses of apartheid South Africa strained their relationship, leading to their divorce in 1958. Rise of activism and resistance, 1948-1960. In 1948, the National Party came to power in South Africa, institutionalizing apartheid, a system of racial segregation and discrimination. Mandela, along with the ANC, launched various campaigns to resist these oppressive laws. He became a leader in the Defiance Campaign of 1952, which encouraged mass civil disobedience against apartheid legislation. Mandela's charisma and organizational skills earned him prominence within the movement, and he traveled extensively to mobilize support. In 1952, Mandela and Oliver Tambo opened South Africa's first black-owned law firm, Mandela and Tambo, providing legal services to black South Africans facing injustice under apartheid laws. During this period, Mandela was banned from attending public meetings, limiting his ability to organize openly. In 1956, Mandela was arrested, along with 155 other activists, and charged with treason in what became known as the treason trial. The trial lasted until 1961, with all defendants ultimately acquitted. Formation of Umkhonto we Sizwe, an armed resistance, 1961–1962. Frustrated with the lack of progress through peaceful protest, Mandela co-founded Umkhonto we Sizwe, MK, Spear of the Nation, in 1961, the armed wing of the ANC. MK adopted a strategy of sabotage targeting government infrastructure to avoid loss of life while pressuring the apartheid regime. In 1962, Mandela secretly left South Africa to travel across Africa and to London, garnering support for the ANC and receiving military training. Upon his return, he was arrested and convicted of leaving the country without a permit. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. If you've made it this far, you're loving the content. So, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our future videos. The Rivonia Trial and Life Imprisonment, 1963–1990. While serving his sentence, Mandela and several other ANC leaders were charged with sabotage after the police raided an MK safe house in Rivonia, near Johannesburg. During the Rivonia trial of 1963–1964, Mandela delivered his famous speech, declaring, "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." Mandela and his co-accused were sentenced to life imprisonment on June 12, 1964. He was incarcerated on Robben Island, where he endured harsh conditions, manual labor, and isolation. Despite this, Mandela's resolve remained unbroken, and he became a symbol of resistance against apartheid. Global Movement and Mandela's Release, 1980–1990. Mandela's imprisonment galvanized a global anti-apartheid movement. International campaigns called for his release, and economic sanctions were imposed on South Africa. Within the country, uprisings and strikes increased, making apartheid unsustainable. On February 11, 1990, after 27 years in prison, Mandela was released. His release marked a turning point in South African history, as it signaled the beginning of negotiations to dismantle apartheid. Leadership and Presidency, 1991–1999. Mandela was elected president of the ANC in 1991, and he worked closely with President F.W. de Klerk to negotiate the end of apartheid. Their efforts culminated in the country's first multiracial democratic elections on April 27, 1994, in which Mandela was elected South Africa's first black president. As president, Mandela prioritized national reconciliation, economic reform, and rebuilding a divided nation. He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, to address past human rights abuses and foster healing. Mandela's leadership earned him global admiration, and he received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 alongside de Klerk. Later, Life and Global Statesmanship, 2000–2013. Mandela stepped down after one term in 1999, setting a precedent for democratic leadership. In retirement, he focused on charitable work through the Nelson Mandela Foundation and campaigns to combat HIV/AIDS. His advocacy brought attention to the epidemic, which had devastated South Africa. Mandela remained a beloved figure until his passing on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95. His death was met with an outpouring of grief and tributes worldwide, celebrating his life and legacy. Descendants and legacy. Mandela had 6 children from his 3 marriages. His descendants include political leaders, activists, and public figures. Mandla Mandela, his grandson, serves as chief of the Mvezo Traditional Council and continues to engage in South African politics. Ndleka Mandela, his granddaughter, is an activist and author focused on social justice and women's rights. While Mandela's family has faced challenges, including disputes over his estate, they continue to preserve his legacy through various initiatives. Nelson Mandela's life exemplifies courage, resilience, and the pursuit of justice. His journey from a rural village to the presidency of South Africa and his role as a global symbol of freedom continues to inspire people worldwide. His legacy lives on through his contributions to democracy, equality, and human rights, as well as through the ongoing work of his descendants and the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. Your support means the world. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and tap the notification bell to stay in the loop with all our latest uploads. See you in the next one.